people sleeping where they stand in the blazing sun.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome finally to the newest episode of the Guys Hiding from Their Wives podcast. Before we get into introductions, I know it's been about 3 months since we've been with you, but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for, staying patient with us.
You ain't been doing this one?
No, literally, I think we did one after you went on your hiatus.
We
Sorry.
kind of lost track of time.
Well, Cameron over here, he's like, when are we going to record? When are we going to record? I don't know, one of these days. 3 months later, here we are.
Yeah.
But before we get into intros over here, make sure you get out there, follow us on all those social media channels. Follow us on Twitter, that's @GuysHiding. Check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/Guys Hiding from Their Wives. The YouTube channel for Guys Hiding from Their Wives. All the rest of them that obviously you can tell I haven't done this in 3 months, so I don't remember all
It's
that
been too
stuff.
long.
The Instagram, Guys Hiding from Their Wives, or it might be just for Guys Hiding, I don't know. Check it out, though. Search it up. You'll find us.
I always
And,
listen on Spotify.
Yeah. And we are all, that's it. Just listen wherever podcasts are available. Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you're listening now, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, you name it. So, sorry about that. Jeez, freaking choke on my spit here. I am your host, Big Ben. Right here with me, next to me on the couch is Kameron and Cheese. What's up, man?
How's it going, guys?
Long time no see. Over there, you heard him. That's our man, Magic Mike. Welcome back, buddy.
It's been a while.
It has been a little while. Been a while.
And before we even get started, let me just apologize right now. Because this is going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to be a great show and everybody's going to like it, or I'm going to turn off a lot of people. 'Cause I'm not real people-y today. I'm kind of like in a hateful, like...
So, fair warning, it's going to go south.
So, fair warning,
in a
it's going to be
hurry.
great, and people's going to laugh and be funny, or people's going to like, that guy's a jerk.
Or maybe both.
And I really am a nice guy. But just today, I'm just not
Some
feeling
days.
it. And there's not a reason why, just because. So be warned. You're warned.
All right, and for the first time ever, we've got Erika coming in with us. She's got a lot to talk about. Welcome. We've tried to get you in here for, like, months now, but...
I know, I'm finally here. And
Well,
I want a cool nickname, too.
All right, we'll come up with one.
something.
Give me just a couple minutes. I'll work with something here.
All right.
All right. But no, thanks for coming. We're glad to have you. We're glad to hear what we're glad with what you're going to talk about today. I know I'm super excited about it.
I'm super
I know Mike
excited.
is too. So, but before we get into that, this week the first half of this episode is brought to you by Netflix and Chill. Enough said. All right, moving on. I know it's been a while since we've been here together, but what's been happening? What's up, Mike? How'd the baseball team do?
We did a lot of baseball. And I got to be honest, we practiced every day. It was terrible. I hated it. Going into work early, leaving late, eating dinner like at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
No, that's the story of my life usually.
Yeah,
but
and
I don't even have a good excuse for it.
You do it, but geez. But the kids, I mean, not to brag on, our team and stuff, but they were so amazing. They were so good, and they played so hard. We went to them 3 tournaments right in a row, them 3 weekends. We took 2 second places. And this last one, we lost our second game. We had to come all the way back up through the losers bracket.
Holy cow.
And we started at 10 a.m., and we went straight through, no breaks, and we didn't get done until after 6.
Wow.
And
okay.
they're 10.
Well, but see, with them being 10, they can handle it.
Well,
It's you I was worried about, buddy.
yeah,
it was
that's
the
true.
coaches
He
that we were
was
a
pretty
little
bad.
concerned about.
I had an IV set up in the dugout just in case.
You had the
I
oxygen
needed it,
tanks in
but-
there in the dugout. I get
Yeah,
that.
but
I get
them
that.
kids are like, we got to play again. I mean, they won, and they're excited, and then 5 minutes later, like, we got to play again.
Okay, next game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of brutal, but they did so great, and them kids were awesome.
Right
So-
on, right
and I
on.
miss it. I'm having withdrawals.
And it's
So-
only been what? Been a week?
Yeah, half a week.
All right, now
So-
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. Shout out to those guys. Also, shout out to Carbon's. What is their under 13 team? Won their 6th straight state championship this last weekend. And
I don't know if they're third. I don't know what age group they was. It was Casey's team.
Yeah, they're just awesome bunch of kids. I mean, they beat that team from Beaver 22-2,
Yeah,
something like that.
and it's
that's a
actu-
blowout.
Yeah,
Looked
and
like the
actually,
Yankees-Red
it's a
Sox
good
series this
segue into
weekend.
Erika because she knows all that stuff. That's what she's here to talk about. Is
All
the
right.
tournament she's got coming up.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. So Erica, just in case you don't know, and I'm still working on a nickname. I got the wheels cranking
All
over
right.
here.
We'll wait till the
She's,
break. We'll talk about
There
it.
you go. She's the director of a local tournament here in the local price area. So we'll just throw it to her. We'll let you have it for a minute.
All right. So this is my 4th year doing this tournament. It's called the Black Diamond Baseball Tournament. So years ago, 4 years ago to be exact, I got this crazy idea. Well, a lot of people I feel in Carbon County had been throwing around the idea of bringing a local baseball tournament. Everyone talked about it. No one did it. So I went to a Helper City Council meeting one day and I said, this is what I want to do. And they 155% supported me. In my mind, I was going to have 70 teams show up. I was going to have it full.
Ideally, that's what we want.
Right. I was going to have all these teams from all over, everything like that. I had 8 teams, 3 being local. So it was like a huge learning curve for me. And I had to ask the 3 local teams to please throw a team together because I really was stressing. The second year came around, we doubled in teams, so I kind of started feeling like, okay, maybe this is something that we can build on and continue doing. The next year it blew up. We had
Right on.
close to 40 teams come all over Wyoming, Idaho, trying to think where else. We had Nevada, a couple places like that, and I didn't have anything out there other than the word of mouth.
That's impressive right there.
I made a Facebook page. I started getting it out there. And we went 8U to, I believe, 15U last year. And it was amazing.
That's impressive. Well, that leaves me a little bit of hope, too. Because I think, as of right now, we've got about 12 listeners, and 11 of them are local. So,
We're going to blow up
I'm
here.
just kidding.
Where's that Maybe she's the lucky charm.
That maybe this is it. Maybe this is going to blow up. But anyway, continue. Sorry.
So this year, last year at the end of the season, well, his team played at the last tournament, and he knew my frustrations.
Kiss
he
ass.
knew where I had many fall aparts. I cried a lot of tears, both happy and sad. I just want to see more of our community come out and support this. I mean, it's a big deal. We can make this huge. I mean, I talked to a guy up in Tooele, I believe, this week. He wants to build a universal website, start bringing more information about our community, his community, doing more tournaments, which would be amazing. That would be so awesome.
That is cool. So are you talking like travel out? Like if you get, say, this tournament here, next weekend is it?
Correct, the 12th and 13th.
So, and then maybe have another tournament in August at someplace else that all these teams can go to? Is that something you're looking at? Or?
We're kind of talking about putting all our contacts together. He has a huge contact list. I'm building a big contact list. And before we've been all Rocky Mountain School of Baseball, I mean, they have paved the way for travel ball, for big tournaments. Everyone goes for Rocky Mountain, and that was where I wanted to bring something local. We travel all over the state to play ball. Let's bring something here.
Yeah, bring it here, man.
Yeah, we have
Bring
nice
some-
ball fields.
Oh, we've got amazing ball fields. And the people that put these on, I know we've had a couple of the regional tournaments here for the different age groups, and then another one this year, right?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. But that's just incredible, and the facilities are amazing. I stopped and I made sure I took my lunch break to go up and watch a couple games, and I was sitting next to a couple people from, I think it was that team from Hawaii that they were playing, and they said, "Man, these fields are incredibly well put together. You come in, you're thinking we're coming to Little Podunk Price, Utah. What are we going to have? We're going to have rocks and sticks and a couple of trees and maybe a patch of grass 3 feet by 3 feet wide. But no, the fields we have here are absolutely amazing.
And I'm
the
not
grass
going to
doesn't hurt.
Sorry.
I played baseball as a kid. There was some fields, grass hurt.
Yeah.
The grass here
At least
never
you
hurt.
had grass.
Exactly.
I'm old. We played in the horse pasture.
When Mike was growing up, they were the cow pies
Oh,
didn't hurt.
pothole.
Yeah, cow pie was second base.
Price City has brought in so much dirt and made those fields amazing. Before, kids were getting hurt by rocks in the infield. Price City has really stepped up. Helper has always, I love the Legion Field in Helper.
Oh, that Legion Field is amazing.
Yeah, when you walk through the gates of the Legion Field, you get chills. I love the
It's
Legion Field.
it's one of the best in the state, and I've seen quite a few around. It really is.
I agree.
And with how many local tournaments do we actually have here? Does anybody know? How many do we bring in? There's the Black Diamond, obviously, that
Yeah,
Erika does. But how many more tournaments do we bring in?
If we're
The
lucky, we'll
tornado
get that
tournament
regional one, but-
sometimes.
But that one is again just local teams.
It's
from
local.
Here.
It's
We
local.
don't
It's-
bring any
it's
teams
not
in.
in- it's
That-
not
this
open
this
to
is
everybody.
really it. Unless we happen to land one of these regional things, this is it.
Right?
And I know it's hard. I mean, back in my day, Wellington always clashed with Price and Helper clashed with Price, and it was just a big. Let's just face it. It was a Mongolian cluster.
Yeah, even in Price, the 3 leagues. If you played in the American League or the Central League, you hated people that played in the National League.
And it's just the way it is. And I mean, I'm curious to ask Erika. I don't know if she knows or not, but any insight you have, how is it now dealing with other members of other leagues and stuff? Do you guys get along? Is it hard to get any help or cooperation from outside sources that are in our community, or what can we do to make it better?
My honest opinion is I have done most of this legwork on my own. I haven't had much help from a lot of other people, which is sad. I mean, Brianna from Price City, 100%. Brett from Price City, 100%. I can always count on Lanice and Helper she makes everything amazing for me.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Brett, Brianna, Mayor Peterman. Shout out. We love you guys.
They are awesome. But as I want everyone to feel like, let's get together and make this bigger, not let's fight against each other because we don't like you or we don't like that. Let's make this big. Let's join teams. I mean, I know, and mine is totally different than the regionals that they bring in, and I know that they have a lot of help, a lot of volunteers. When you're doing things by yourself with just a couple people helping you, you are running your butt off. For 2 days.
And I can imagine and see, okay, so this regional tournament and what you guys got going on is completely different too, because these are, teams that, well, obviously we've won our local area. We're going to make it to this regional tournament. For your tournament, the Black Diamond, these are teams that are volunteering to come here and just because they just want to come and play. I think that speaks volumes, and that for just you doing it by yourself and with very little help, I would compare yours to the regionals that went on last year in a heartbeat.
Last year, the regionals, they had estimated, I think, 20 teams came in. I feel like there was just a few shy of the 20 that came in, and mine brought in 40.
Yeah.
So my weekend, revenue-wise, for Price City was huge. The hotels were filled. The restaurants were filled. Gas stations were busy. It was an amazing weekend for Price City last year.
That's awesome.
I worked in a restaurant during that weekend. It was hectic.
I can imagine.
Good on you.
That's what we need is teams coming in. And let me ask you this: what kind of prizes do they have for the teams that win?
The teams that win get uniforms when they win our tournament.
Wow.
They get jerseys.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
First year we did trophies, and I started thinking, I think the rings are really cool too that kids get. And I've asked a few coaches this year, what are your thoughts on the jerseys and stuff like that compared to trophies? Coaches say, my kid throws their trophy in the closet, or...
it'll sit on the shelf and
Yeah.
collect dust and then get looked at.
That's what he said. He goes, but our kids wear those jerseys to practice. We see them showing up in school with their jerseys on. They're proud that they won that tournament. And they have something to show every single day for it.
That's awesome. That's super cool.
Okay.
And I do want to clarify. I don't want to bash on the the regional tournaments and the people that put on, because they do a great job.
They do.
My point I was trying to make is yours is just as good, if not
Why not combine
better
forces?
Yeah.
Help each other out.
Yeah,
And-
I wasn't trying to bash on them, but
Yeah.
my point was that Erika's, with very little help, is done just as well, if not better.
And just a side note from my point of view, I have every trophy I've ever won as a kid. No, there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of them, but they're in my room right now, and they're still there.
That's awesome.
And I keep track of them. And I happen to win 2 rings this year because of my kid and his team. So
Shout out to you, Raiden.
it's awesome. The rings are, because it's different. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But to win a jersey, I mean,
Man, that's
I played softball for 117 years. Okay, winning a T-shirt doesn't mean
believe
squat, because when you win a T-shirt after you wash it 3 times, it's got holes in it. It's a rag. Winning bat bags was nice. A trophy, it was a sponsor trophy. Individual kids didn't get trophies. It was the sponsor trophy. So that was that. But I'll tell you this: we used to travel to Moroni and play. Okay, by the turkey. There's a field by the turkey farms, and if you played outfield, it was the worst experience of your life, because it was stinky, it was miserable, and it was always hot, and you could hear them turkeys and smell them and all that stuff. It was terrible. But
if you're not listening to this from a rural community, you
Yeah.
have no clue what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Like, what the hell? These guys are talking about playing baseball
Yeah.
at a turkey farm?
the turkey farm is right there behind center field fence, and I'll tell you this: We went there every year and played because they gave away jackets.
Nice.
They gave away coats or jackets every year for the first place team. And so we went down there every year and tried to win the jacket.
That's awesome.
Or the coat. So, yeah, you have great prizes. It sounds like them jerseys are awesome. I'd go play for a jersey.
I'd go play for a jersey. Let's
Heck
put a
yeah.
team together.
So-
Do you have like
Come on out.
a 50 and under division?
We'll create a 50
How about a 50 and over?
We need to have the seniors, the legends
senior
division
league.
There you go.
So I'm hitting
I
with
still
my
think
cane.
I can't play.
But yeah,
Well,
I
can we
think
have
it sounds
walkers out on
great,
the
Eric,
field,
and
all right?
keep up the good work. That's awesome.
No, that is super cool. And if you're here, make sure you get out, get a chance to get out, go watch these games, go support these guys, go support these teams that are coming in because that's freaking amazing.
Oh, and
with what's going on.
these she says they have what 8U to 15,
We did 9 to 15 this
9
year.
to 15, and I'm guilty of this. But you watch them kids play, you forget they're 9, 10 years old.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Holy moly! We
He's
played
got
this.
way more talent than me. I mean, that's not saying much, but that's still.
We played a team last year, and all of a sudden they started creeping. They had bases loaded. I'm like, what are these kids doing? Because you don't teach kids that at 9 years old.
Yeah.
And holy cow, extremely well coached, great players, and every one of them was like a phenom.
Yeah.
I'm like, these kids are like the Yankees, the mini Yankees, man.
That's awesome.
And needless to say, they kicked the shit out of us. But,
Yeah.
hey, it was an experience. It was a learning experience, and it was great.
It's cool to bring some competition down here, too. The first 2 years, Colorado West Lookout, CWL, they won both years, the 2 first years. And it was awesome. And his name's Courtney Redway. He still is coming down this year. He don't have a team. He's bringing his son down, and they're coming to support.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
That is
That's
pretty
super
cool.
cool. So what are the dates on that again?
July 12th and 13th.
12th and 13th. Cool. Well, I do have a family reunion and some other stuff going on Saturday, but I will tell you this, and I'll say it publicly. If you need my help Friday, you just say the word, I'll be there.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you.
I'll even volunteer Cameron, too. You're working that day?
I might,
Oh, well, you're not
but I
working
only
now,
work
you'll be
till 2 anyway.
there. Okay. Well, yeah, I got to work that Friday, but if you need us that night, we'll be there.
Yeah, and it's
You're
amazing.
awesome.
And can I bring out the hateful side now?
All
course.
right. Well, before you do that, though, while we still got all the good fuzzies, I do want to throw a couple quick shout-outs while we're going.
Oh.
Shout out to Joey Chestnut. That man is a machine. Won his, I think this was his 4th straight this time around, Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest at Coney Island there, and his 12th overall. He ate 71 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes today. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Joey Chestnut's a
Joey
freaking
Chestnut.
animal. He
Wasn't
did break
he
his
on
own record.
Goodfellas?
He could have been. And I did have another shout out, but I don't really remember. I do want to laugh at the guy that I just saw getting pulled over on the way here, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was great.
Awesome.
You saw him too?
Yep, still there. Okay, so the hateful side now. Baseball's awesome. I love it. I've always enjoyed baseball. So, when this All-Star thing started, coaches, every night we were practicing. We were going into work early. We were staying late. We were eating dinner at 8, 9 o'clock, like I said, and it's a lot. It is stressful, and you're trying to put the best kids in to win because once you get to All-Stars, it's a competition, and
Yeah.
you want to win.
Oh, yeah.
You have to win, or, it's just the way it is. And the parents for our team this year were beyond amazing. Not one bad word. They all support us. It was amazing. But in the league, there's always a couple parents.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
where this
You
is
see
going.
where this is
I
going.
know those
do.
couple parents.
Because your kid didn't pitch 14 innings and didn't bat first or bat, 4th cleanup or, they throw a big attitude toward the coach. I don't know if the coaches make as much as I do, but I got paid absolutely nothing. And I deserve a little bit more money than that
Yeah,
for the time and the effort. I mean, nothing is good, but and it's just the coaches put in a lot of time, and they're trying to win. They're trying to compete.
and like you said, it's all free time. It's all volunteer
Yeah,
time.
and coaches, umpires, same thing. Give a little bit of a break. It's like, geez, Louise, your kid's not. I'm telling you right now, your kid's not going to play for the Yankees. I don't know if anybody told you that or not, but your kid's not going to play for the Yankees. So sit back, let them have fun,
Let them
play
have
with
fun
his
and
buddies.
enjoy it. You know what I mean?
And the coaches are doing their best. I told our coach, I was the assistant. I says, hey, if my kid sucks, you pull him. Get him out of there. He strikes out, I'll bench him. And he goes,
That was my mother.
yeah.
And I batted last
Yeah.
anyway.
And you do what it takes, man. Like I said, it's,
Yeah, no,
So-
and I'm far from the expert, aside from what my all my years of right field experience will tell you. But no, it just let these kids go out there and have have a good time.
And
I
they're trying.
know those
Wait, you
poor
got the prestigious
umpires
right
take
field?
a bunch of crap from people too, and I know that firsthand. Two of my boys, they umpire, and man, those parents are
That is
brutal.
a thankless job. I've been that guy.
Did you see the Facebook fight?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Holy
No.
mackerel.
He's
We're
13.
gonna find this.
The
Yeah.
kid's 13. You got
Unreal.
40-year-old man out there wanting to fight him. It's like,
Yeah.
dude,
It's like,
come on.
man. What the hell? It's like, are you living vicariously through these kids at this point? Is your life that complete
Oh,
shit? It's like,
jeez.
sit down, man. I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna talk to you.
On other news,
What?
speaking of vicariously living through someone, we're going to Vegas this weekend.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
So, happy early 21st birthday to this this rat sniffer over here on the couch. He turns 21 this weekend, so
Happy
we're going to go to
birthday.
Vegas
Thank
and
you.
play a little. And if we don't show back up on Monday,
Send
you'll
bail money.
know what's going on. Yeah.
Well, my older stepbrother, his exact words were, "I got drunk and couldn't walk my 21st birthday at the house."
Oh, I was there. Shout out to you, Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
That was
So
good
he wants
shit.
to live vicariously through me, and I was like, I don't want to drink to that point.
Okay,
Fucking liar.
this is a true story, and I may or may not have information on this.
It's purely speculation at this point.
A bachelor party happened in Vegas, and one of my buddies went down there, and they took him to a strip club, of course. Someone may or may not have slipped him 2 little blue pills in
Oh,
his
shit.
drink.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's rough.
This is not going to turn out well.
Yeah, so just saying, be careful. Be careful.
Well, I actually had it lined up to buy him his first drink after he turns 21. I don't know if he's going to go for that now. He's like, no, I'm not drinking anything you give me.
It'd be fair to open it yourself.
Cameron, settle down. Put your shirt back on. Come on, man.
And stay very hydrated. It's hot in
Yes,
Vegas.
drink a lot.
boy.
It's only supposed to be like 105 this weekend, so some genius decides to plan a trip to Vegas in July.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was you.
That's what I'm saying. Some genius. All right. Well, we're not just here to talk about baseball today. It's been a little while. I mean, not that it's a bad thing to talk about. When we come back the other side of the break, we're going to talk about our last episode. We had some good laughs. We talked about our favorite stand-up comedians. So since you two weren't with us, who's your favorites? Who do you like?
Ooh.
On the spot.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the
You want-
spot.
you wanna think
we
for a
we
minute?
talked a lot of Kevin Hart, a lot of John Mulaney, a lot of
Okay,
Brian Regan.
So there's a lot of them I don't like. I love stand-up comics. I watch them all the time. But I like George Carlin, but the later
He
ones.
came up. Yeah.
The later ones. Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer's
couple of his are
hilarious.
funny.
He's freaking funny.
And the reason I went and tried that stand-up comedy with you, the open mic, the reason I did that was because of one guy, Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Nice.
That
Nice.
was by far, to me, still to this day, the head and shoulders above everything else.
So yours are primarily the older guys. And
The
that
older
good
ones,
stuff.
but the Chris Rock, the first 2, Bring the Pain and Bigger and Blacker,
Right.
them 2 are, I mean, just
Let that be said. That is the first
amazing.
time on this podcast the words "bigger" and "blacker" have ever been put together, and I hope it's the last because I'm extremely uncomfortable over here.
It won't be.
But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that have not the whole, the whole stand-up itself is like amazing, but them all were. But there's a lot that have like little parts here and there. Like Kevin Hart, he has a lot of stuff I like. There's a few that just rub me the wrong way. I cannot stand.
I'm with you.
But-
I'm with you.
But there's a lot of them that have some pretty good stories. Patton Oswalt,
Patton Oswalt's funny.
some of
actually
his stories
talked about,
are amazing.
We actually talked about the story of him. Were you with us when we talked about the one story where this guy was on Twitter trolling him?
Yes,
Saying
yes,
something,
I was
and then
here
he
for
went
that.
through and he raised up a GoFundMe and raised like $30,000 for this guy because he had some medical problems.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome guy.
One thing on Patton Oswalt, if you go to YouTube and just look for drunkest crowd ever. It's
I've
a
heard
little
this.
skit.
It's
yeah,
great. I
was probably
it's
in that
awesome.
crowd.
I love it.
I don't think you were in a casino in this particular moment.
It was awesome.
Well, it may or may not have happened, but All right, so before we get into that, anyway, we had some laughs the last one. I'm gonna still let you think about it. You can come back to the other side of the break. Tell us who you like. But we had some laughs. We're gonna go to the other end of the spectrum on this one. We're gonna break out some tears. I think. I hope we don't. Talking about, I might. There's a couple on this list that I might start breaking up while we're talking about it. We're gonna go for our top 5 tearjerker moments in movies and TV shows, and not necessarily because they're sad, so to speak, but just that really make you tear up. I think most of mine were sad, but that's neither here nor there. So
Almost all of mine were sad.
But before we get into that, it's time for this week's, or this month, or this quarter month, or whatever.
Wherever we're at.
Is this even real?
I think we got 2 of them.
I posted the link to this on our Facebook page, so you can go back and check this out. This happened back in April. Here's the headline. Woman does karate. Son gets naked. Dog steals cornbread at Walmart, police say.
I've seen that.
It's happened in Wisconsin. I'm not going to read any names here, but this lady and her son, she's 46, he's 25, are under arrest after causing a scene at Walmart. Where'd my link go? Okay, there you go. After causing a scene at Walmart, police say. Sorry, I clicked on a link. I'll edit that part
Holy
out.
Jesus, rookie, get
Hey,
it together.
Calm it down. Put your pants back on. I'll come
Get
over
it
there.
together.
All right. Okay, according to Wisconsin police, the police department said even the dog was in on the action. Officers said the woman brought the dog into the store without a leash, and the dog was running freely around the store, which prompted other customers to call the police. Reportedly, the dog got a box of Jiffy cornbread muffin mix and tried to leave the store. When officers responded, said they arrived to find this woman tearing apart displays at the store, and after they finally got her outside, she began doing karate moves in the parking lot. Meanwhile, her son allegedly stripped off all his clothes inside the Walmart and exposed himself to the other customers. Officers were able to subdue and arrest the woman. However, she allegedly kicked out a patrol car window once she was in the back seat. Then the son, they said he tried to cover himself up with clothes from the Walmart racks. When the officers showed up, unfortunately, it is considered shoplifting if you don't pay for them. When officers approached him, the son allegedly attempted to run them over with a motorized scooter. However, they were able to stop the scooter and arrested him. He was charged with lewd and lascivious behavior, disorderly conduct, and retail theft. She was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and misdemeanor bail jumping. And police did not charge the dog. He was let off with a warning. So thank goodness for that.
I was going to say, are you sure that's Wisconsin or Price?
That was going to be my exact words.
But I think all Walmarts are about the same clientele.
I think the clientele that you find in a Walmart is pretty much going to be standard across the board. I've seen some pretty capable individuals in our Walmart.
And
My sister.
And just saying,
Sure.
that dog in Walmart, with everything there is to choose from,
He went for the cornbread.
went for the cornbread. What does that tell you about that dog?
He's got his priorities set straight.
It was. I could say a joke right now, but I better save it.
Maybe tell us during the break, and we will decide if
Okay.
it's fit for the air.
It was
Although we're not.
It was a black lab.
Yes, yes, I love it. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the sponsors or management of the podcast, but those of the individuals.
How could you not come up with that? That's a good
I
one.
had it rattling around the head.
And that comes up with my number 5 top comedian of all time. Is me. I did comedy with you. I did it. I'm number 5.
Yes, you
I
did.
was just gonna come in with my pick on comedian would go to Mike Huff.
Mike was pretty damn good. I don't know. Some of the things he was doing to the microphone stand that night were a little off-putting, but on the whole, you're pretty good.
It was
buddy.
part of the act.
That's what I say too. Yeah, everything that I have, that I've done 3 years
If
later.
it's part of the
it's
act,
all
it
part
keeps
of
you
the
out of
act.
jail.
Okay. All right. Fair point. All right. Well, we're going to come back on the other side of the break. We're going to put together our top 5 list. If I remember who else I wanted to shout out, we'll do that. But stay tuned. Go grab a burger, grab a drink, grab some tissues because I think you might need it. We're coming back with you in 2-2. All right, and we're back. That was a good break. We got some basketball talk in. We got some baseball talk in. We ripped on some people. It was a good time. We told some people to eat a dick. We might throw some. We'll throw some dicks out later on too. Oh, that really sounded bad. I'm sorry, Erika. We're not. It's a figurative dick throwing out. We're not really going to. So, the second half of this episode is brought to you by Saul Goodman Law Firm. Did you know that it's illegal to dance around a sombrero in New Mexico? It's true. Look it up. Apparently, ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. Does your lady have a bun in the oven and you know it ain't your recipe? Then give my pal Sal a call. He can get it cleared up for you. For all of your legal needs in Albuquerque, better call Saul. Saul Goodman Law Firm.
Nice.
All right. Well, we're here. We're ready to shed a few tears. I hope you guys got your tissues ready.
Can we talk about something? Two things really quick.
All right.
Before we jump into that, since
Okay.
we got a second, we haven't talked
We got
about.
all the seconds
we
you
haven't
want.
talked about the ending of Avengers.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
All right.
It's going to come up.
Okay.
It
all
must
right.
be on
God, there's
someone's list.
how much? God, there's been a lot going on because we had the Avenger Endgame come out. We
No,
had
it pissed
Game of
me
Thrones
off.
ended.
Yeah, let's
We
talk about that one,
had,
too.
yeah, Game of Thrones was.
And
There was a lot more that could have been done.
you know what the rumor was I heard on that? Tell me if you've heard this one. So on Game of Thrones, HBO offered them 10 episodes like they'd always been doing, and even offered them another season if they didn't finish.
Well, they should have taken it.
Yeah, but here's what the deal was. They are writing for the new Star Wars movie. Half the writers were leaving to go write for the new Star Wars movie, so they finished up. They did 6 episodes. They hurriedly went through them.
Oh, and you can tell. You
And-
can tell they hurried through that shit.
Exactly. And so, yeah, so I'm kind of peeved. The greatest written
it's-
series in the history of
Yes.
the world, and they murdered it.
Shit, episode 2 of that last season was better than the last one.
Yeah, I was a little bit peeved. So I'm just throwing that out there. We got some Endgame to talk about, 'cause I'm not happy with that one either.
We'll talk about some Endgame.
All right.
But we do get great Star Wars.
I hope
okay,
Star
you know
Wars
what?
finishes. I hope Star Wars finishes
You know
off
what?
better than.
I'm done with the
The
Star
prequels.
Wars thing.
Hopefully, it
I'm
does
over
better
it.
than the prequels.
I'm over it.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on The Last Jedi. My opinions were well known.
Last
on it.
Jedi sucked ass.
Okay, Mike's opinions are well known.
Solo was terrible.
You don't like Solo?
Solo was terrible for the fact of as a movie by itself, it's fine. To tie in with the Star Wars universe and what happened with Chewbacca and Han Solo and how they came up through the Imperial Academy and stuff, sucked ass.
All right. So, here's a take. After the original trilogy, best Star Wars movie was Rogue One.
I agree. I was going to answer D, none of the above, but I agree.
Yeah, Rogue One was decent. I didn't hate it.
No, Rogue One had a good story. It did, and it
Well,
tied in
it
pretty
tied
good.
right in with what was going on in the original trilogy.
Yeah, and Darth Vader turned out to be a badass at
Dude,
the
he was
end.
yeah.
That's what killed Star Wars. That's why you never do prequels after.
Yeah, because you've got the most badass villain that there ever was in the entire movie industry, and you just turn him into a little whiny bitch in the prequels. Because that's all Anakin Skywalker was.
Yeah.
He was a little whine ass.
But in the movie Star Wars,
Oh,
you
I
look at
don't
that.
like sand.
It gets everywhere. Yeah.
Sand in his vagina.
Yeah.
When,
Oh,
but
pet me.
I remember when Star Wars came out in '77. I remember watching. I mean, everything I could on. I was a Star Wars freak, man.
You're old.
Yeah,
right,
I was there.
sorry. That
I
was
was there.
Ben, you're
Anyways,
also old.
they
I wasn't
told,
born in '77.
They told Prowse and Guinness when they were doing the Star Wars fight. They tried to do it like a gladiator war with the swords. And in the old days, the swords were heavy. They were iron. And they said act like they're heavy instead of like little. And now you got guys flipping around doing backflips and all kinds of weird shit. But
Yeah.
they told them in the original Star Wars act like they're kind of heavy, so it's kind of like a real weapon is what they told them.
Right.
So that's why they're slower moving in the original
And
Star
how about
Wars.
David Prowse? How bad does that suck? That you're the guy playing Darth Vader and you pull off all these lines and it's all only come to find out, oh well, we're not using your voice. We're going with this other guy's voice.
Yeah, James Jones!
I mean, I don't hate James Earl Jones, but
That's motherfucking Mufasa.
that's right. This is CNN.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. Anything else that you want to bitch about?
I got a list, but we'll get to them later.
All right. All right. So
I've had a lot of time off to think about shit.
Mike's got a lot to come
can't
up
let
over the
Mike
last
have
3
time
years.
off anymore.
He's pissed off. All right. Well, we put together this top 5 list, and we'll just go from the bottom up. And this is for Erika because she's she's new to it here. We just put together and there's some that are going to be the same. I tried to get some of these that are kind of open so that we don't have the same things.
I will be amazed if someone matches mine because mine are the cheesiest, weirdest picks in the history of the world.
right.
But I always shed a tear when I see
I
it.
think you might match one of mine.
Okay.
But I don't know
All right.
because as I
Let's
know
see.
you appreciate it. But so since you're the noob here, you're the new schmelt on the block. We'll let you have first crack at it. What's your number 5? Your number 5 tearjerker.
So I'm going to go in number 5 with Glory.
Good. Any specific part in there?
When Denzel's getting beat and the tear comes down his face, if you don't shed a tear right there, are you even American?
You're a heartless bastard. There, I said it.
And on the 4th of July, no
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I never said that. Happy 4th of July. We are recording this on Thursday, July 4th. And if you're not here in America, we actually do have a couple of international listeners. At least we used to. I hope we still do. Happy Thursday.
Good day,
to you
mate.
guys. What do you got? What's your number 5?
I got Will Smith breaking down on the set of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, man. Okay. Good call. Did you know that one wasn't even scripted? Like, that was Will
No.
Smith showing the true emotion because his dad left him. When he asks Uncle Phil, how come he didn't want me, man? Oh, brutal. That one.
I got to be honest, I never seen it.
Really? Well, they're all on Netflix.
Well,
They just
I will
released
never
every
watch
episode
Fresh
of
Prince of Bel-Air, so I'm never going to see it.
Oh. While we're talking about un-American bastards here, come on, man.
Come on,
Why are
Mike.
you hating?
It's
All right. What's your number 5 then, you heartless
'Kay.
bastard?
Heartless Bastard, number 5, 61.
Ooh, all right.
When Maris was going for the break and everybody was against him and he's losing his hair, he's smoking 4 packs a day, he's shaking. When he's sitting there, he's just, talking and he's looking at the death threat letters. It's just, god dang.
And for a baseball guy, I can imagine that touched you in a way that,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I like it. There's definitely the emotional level, the feeling there. Mine's kind of along the same thing because I'm such a big sports guy, and I watched this movie growing up with my dad all the time. My number 5 is when Ivan Drago kills Apollo Creed in Rocky IV. Not even so much when it happens, but the funeral. I honestly can say that's probably the first time I remember crying at a movie was at Apollo Creed's funeral.
Wow.
He dies. And just because there was so much hype. Apollo was clear up here and then dies right there in the ring, and that's it.
Okay, I can see that. Like I said, I did not cry during that, but we was talking about this off air. The first Rocky, when they're saying stay down, and the 14th when he goes down, then he makes it to the end, and he's just yelling for Adrian, and the music plays. That fucking Rocky music, man.
Yes.
Get you every time. But yeah, when he's yelling, he made the distance. That's all he wanted to do, and that was a little shit. But I've seen it 7 million times since then, so now it has no
I
effect
still have the
on
box
me.
set. Love it all.
Yeah.
Well, and that when Drago kills Creed in Rocky IV, and then that sends Rocky into his training. That's the single greatest training montage scene ever in a movie. I'm calling that right now. All right, what do you got? Moving on up. What's your number 4?
Are we on me?
Yep. Back to you.
I have a list a mile long.
Well,
but-
that my honorable mention list is like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how my honorable mention list is long.
And I've told this a million times. I got like 47 movies in my top 10, so it's okay to have a couple extra. It just goes by what you feel right now.
Yep.
I agree. And I had a lot of sports movies, I feel, like always brought tears to my eyes. Remember the Titans.
Oh, okay. Which part?
Oh, well, I like it when they say we're brothers. There's I shed a lot of tears on that movie.
Oh man, me too.
That was one that I watch every time and I cry.
I love Remember the Titans. The part you're talking about where he's laying in the hospital bed after he's crashed and he
Yes.
walks in. She says, only kin's allowed in
And
here.
this is my brother.
And he says, are you blind? Can't you see the family
What?
resemblance?
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Yes.
And you know what? That a lot of that can be said for the whole. We need more of that just in the world today. Not just in the sports world or in any of that, but in the world in general.
Loved the show, but I didn't cry.
Oh, man. I think the hardest I cried at that one was at the very end. When they're at his funeral and they start singing. Oh.
Yeah.
Every time. You good over there?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Cameron's got the tissues over here. He's blowing his nose off.
All right. My number 4, really recent, but it really hit home for me. It was when Uncle Aaron dies in Into the Spider-Verse.
Well, I know how much you love Spider-Man, so I get
I do.
that. I get that.
Right. I have Spider-Man tattoos. I've watched way too much Spider-Man cartoons.
Well, you're vested in that universe. I get that. That was gut wrenching, man. I didn't cry at it, but I
did.
I can see why somebody would. I can see why it hurt you. Good call. Good call. What do you got? Number 4.
Okay, this is one where everybody's gonna rip me.
Oh, if you want to talk about you're going to tear me apart for my 4th.
This is cheesy. So, but stay with me on this.
Okay.
Major League.
All right.
When
All
they
right.
won it at the end, and that soft, somber music starts playing, but it's just more than that, because they went through the hardships of everybody hating them. They weren't going to make it. Everything was against them, and then at the end they put it together and they won the game. And it's just.
And it's not a sad cry at that point.
No,
It's
I
not
mean,
sad, but it's got you
it's
choked
got
up.
feelings, and because of the baseball, and they came through, and the odds were against them. I mean, they rose to the occasion, and it's every time I watch that show. I don't watch it a lot anymore, but on Major League, when they win the game, when they finally do it, I always get choked up.
Oh, I agree with you.
That's one of my favorite
I'm not even
Charlie
going to laugh
Sheen
at that at all,
performances.
man.
Okay,
'Cause
I thought
get
that was kind of cheesy.
No, I get
No,
it.
I like it.
So, this one, I went with the baseball movie on my number 4, too. And that look you're getting, I know exactly, because we've had this discussion about this movie several times. I'm surprised you haven't jumped all over me
I'm not going to say a word.
Because you're like, that's not a fucking baseball movie.
It's
very
not!
End of Field of Dreams, when he goes out there after they're all gone, and he's like, Dad, you want to have a catch? And then he plays catch with his dad. Oh, man, it just wrecks me. And that's just because, I mean, it was a great movie. I absolutely loved it. It just took me back to playing catch with my dad when I was a kid, and, just to know that may be his last chance. And I know when that comes, it's going to hurt me to not ever get to play catch again.
Yeah, and I get it. Like I said, I'm totally against that movie. I thought it was boring. It's not a baseball movie. Baseball's the background of it. It's a father-son feel-good movie. I'll give you that, but like I said, I didn't cry. I was annoyed the whole time I was watching it.
Starting to think Mike really might be
but
a heartless bastard.
but I'm okay. But I'm okay because a lot of people like that show. But it's not a baseball movie.
What was your feelings on Die Hard? Not a Christmas movie?
Okay, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is the best Christmas movie.
Well,
I just had to throw one more.
Because all the Christmas movies are pretty much shit. It is the best Christmas movie.
Oh, shit. All right, Erika, what's your number 3?
Well, I'm not going to lie. Field of Dreams was on my list.
Yes.
But I'm going back to my childhood in school and where I read a book. And then we watched the movie in class. It made me cry where the red fern grows.
Every time.
Oh.
Horrible.
Every day.
I actually here's a funny story. I had downloaded it on my it's an app where I can check out library books from the library, and I was listening to the audiobook, and I got to the end of that, and I literally had to stop what I was doing just because I was blubbering. It was horrible. Yeah.
Yes.
Every time.
Great book. I read it.
Oh man, Where the Red Fern Grows hits me every time.
All right. I have Cars 3, The Memorial to Doc.
Ooh, all right. And I feel
Or
that
just because it's a memorial to Paul Newman.
yeah, that's really what it boiled down to, is because it wasn't so much. I mean, it was for
It
Doc.
was Doc, but it was Paul Newman.
Yeah,
'Cause
it was
just Paul
Disney's
Newman
tribute
anyway.
to Paul Newman there. I like that. I like that.
I'm
And-
not going to lie. I a little bit about that one. It just didn't make my list.
All right. There was something else I was going to say about that, but I don't know. I must have lost it. Go ahead, Mikey.
Okay,
What's your
number 3. Another one.
All right, we're getting ready to give him shit on this.
Another one. The Bad News Bears breaking training.
Okay, remind me.
So
how it
when they go to the Astrodome to
Okay.
play the California team, and the umpires say the game's over, they kick them off the field, and the Kelly Leak's dad goes out there, let them play. Let
Okay,
them
all
play.
right, yeah.
Let them play. And then the whole crowd joins in, and the kids are out there, and it's like, dude, come on, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
You got chills at
You
that
got
point.
chills.
Yeah.
That was great. I get chills now.
Feel them running through you. Mike
Yeah.
literally has goosebumps over there. I can see him.
Yeah, I
I can see him from
He
across the
does.
room.
I do.
All
Breaking
right.
training, man. That
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 was good.
scene, I always tear up when they let them play.
This one is the only TV moment that made my list. I think you might have it on. You might have considered it, but and it wasn't even a series finale. It was the season finale of episode 6 or season 6 of Parks and Recreation. I don't know if you've seen it. I
don't
think
watch
we've talked
Parks
about
and
it a little bit.
Recreation.
It was where they had the Pawnee Eagleton Unity concert. It was their tribute to Little Sebastian, 5,000 Candles in the Wind. It felt more of the series finale than the actual season 7 finale did, and I think it's because it was supposed to be. But just when they have that tribute going on, and Ron Swanson comes out as Duke Silver and he's playing the saxophone for it, I watch it and I was just like, oh, this is so great! I love this show so much. And I know it's stupid and it's one of those extremely stupid TV shows. My wife hates it with a passion, but.
Ben, can we talk
Good
about
stuff.
how many times you've watched Parks and Rec? Like, all the way through?
We don't need to.
Because I'm at 4.
I'm at a few. We'll just say that. I'm at a few. All right. We're getting down to it. We're
We
getting down
are.
to it. Number 2.
I Am Sam.
Ooh.
That's
Yes.
That's
Okay.
evil. That's an
Yeah.
evil show.
That,
Yes.
Man, that thing was brutal.
That is
It
evil.
was Sean Penn.
Sean Penn is amazing. And if you don't have kids, and that's why I think, it may or may not hit Cameron as much on that one, but God,
I have not seen it.
to have that.
I'll never watch it again.
I don't know
No.
that no. But that relationship, and it's just heart wrenching, man.
I
Wrecked
cried, and he puts on such a brilliant performance. Another performance that kind of crossed my mind, but it didn't fit this, was the very first time I watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Leonardo DiCaprio.
When the mom dies and he's
That-
like, "Mama, wake up," or when he's
Yes.
like, "Oh,
So
man."
I was on a
Leonardo
between those two. I
DiCaprio
was like,
deserves so many more Oscars than
Absolutely. No, but when it was that one, I think it was the scene where he was in the courthouse when
Yes.
he was tested. Oh, man. I was blubbering like a fool.
yes.
I do a lot of stuff like a fool, but that was definitely one. So number 2.
he has. I got Uncle Ben dying.
Which one?
Tobey Maguire's
Oh.
just the first Spider-Man, Uncle Ben dying.
With great power comes great responsibility. That one?
Yep.
Yep. And I mean, it's critical because it's part of what made Spider-Man Spider-Man. But
Well, it just set up the rest of the movie. And it was great, but also the saddest moment I had ever dealt with at that point.
I feel it. I feel it. Mikey. What do you
Okay,
got?
so I'm going old school,
Okay.
and this one
I've been all day.
kills me every time. Every time. The movie is called American Anthem.
I don't know that I've seen it.
It's the gymnastics one. Janet Jones Gretzky, before she married Wayne Gretzky's in it,
Oh, okay.
and she's a gymnast, and she's kind of awesome. Mitch Gaylord.
Okay.
But anyway, they're trying out for the Olympic team, and this girl, she has a little bit of a knee injury, so she goes out there and does the floor exercise, and she wipes out, totally racks her knee, and then she gets up and continues her performance, and every time she falls, and everybody's like, oh, and she just gets back up, and she limps up, and she goes and does another flip and wipes out again, and
But she finishes.
and she finishes the routine, and she just lays there bawling. And the coach goes over there and picks her up, and he just, every
It just wrecks
time that's on,
Oh.
I bawl.
But bro, you're telling me about it, and it's hurting me over
It's,
here.
uh,
I haven't seen it, and it hurts.
It's so at the end of the floor, everybody's cheering. You can hear it. I mean, in gymnastic events, there's like 10 things going on at the same time. There's all kinds of stuff on. The whole crowd is silent, and they're watching this performance on the floor. The whole stadium stops and watches her doing that. And the announcer, they got a 10, 3-point. And after she wipes out the final time, she's laying there and her performance is over. It goes dark, and the announcer goes, Betty Jo Prescott, or whatever the hell her name is, something like that. But it's like Debbie Jo, Betty Jo, something like that. And it just every time, yeah,
Brutal.
every time. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you see that movie.
All right, where
American
where can
Anthem.
You see it? Is it
I have
Netflix
it
or
on.
anything, or?
I have it on. I think VHS tapes still.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's around. Just look
Okay.
it up.
All right.
American
All right.
Anthem.
American Anthem. Check it
Great
out.
show.
All All right, my number 2. It doesn't matter if I'm reading the book. Again, I had it on an audiobook and I listened to it and it did the same thing. I watched the movie. I read the book and it does it to me. It's the end of the Green Mile, where they execute. And he's telling him the story right before he says, I feel it like glass in my face, boss. People being ugly to each other. Oh, and it's just, it hurts physically. I'm blubbering. If I'm listening to the audiobook, I got to stop doing what I'm doing just because I'm bawling. But I remember when I was actually reading the book, I was sitting there, and my ex-wife at the time, she's like, "You all right?" No. So, yeah, Green Mile.
And
that's my number 2.
Just a side note, I usually watch the movies alone, so I can't cry.
That's probably the better option.
Because if there's people around, I feel like, an idiot.
Well, my number 1, I bawling like a madman in a movie theater full of people. So he knows where it's going.
I just know how it is. Like I said, I watch a lot of shows alone just for that. I know I'm gonna cry.
So before we get to the number 1s, what didn't make your list? Just throw us out some honorable mentions. What you got that you considered that weren't quite top 5 worthy? You got anything? You got any
Gwen
honorable?
Stacy's death.
You and Spider-Man, man. I tell you what.
I told you most of my list was going to involve Spider-Man.
One of mine was that movie Warrior, where the brothers.
Oh yeah. Warrior was good.
When he's holding him up at the end, it was. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of mine, and the only reason I made an honorable mention is because I haven't made it that far in the series yet. I'm still in the process of watching it. But it's in The Office when Michael Scott leaves for the last time, and Creed tells him, "All right, see you tomorrow, boss." When obviously there's no tomorrow, boss. When Wilson floats off in Castaway, Wilson.
See, and I don't have a lot of TV. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare the list. I apologize for that. I was kind of in a rush, but.
Well, we didn't decide we were going to record this one until last night.
Yeah, when Sheldon gives his speech at the end of the Big Bang Theory finale.
I've heard a lot of people say that. I still haven't seen it yet. But.
That was a little bit of a tear, and there's so many other movies. There's so many others that I here and there. But for me, it's usually not. I mean, the death of someone is hard. But it's usually the feel-good moments, like if they persevere, or if they get injured and they come back, or if they just can't, make it up the hill, or whatever the case may be. I like the feel-good moments more than it affects me more than the death or the
sad stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're down to it. What's your number 1 tearjerker moment?
This one I'm going old school. I remember exactly where I was watching it, who I was with. Me and my grandma were sitting on the couch, and we watched the movie The Champ.
The Champ.
Yes. God, it's been forever
Schroeder.
since
Ricky Schroeder.
Yes, that movie. I remember my grandma holding me holding her, crying.
I totally can see it. Yeah. I think like I said, you said it's old school. I remember that because I was just little.
I was little. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, what's number 1?
Well, I feel bad now.
Okay.
Because I go with the end of Speed Racer. He finally he's been cheated the whole movie. He finally gets to the Grand Prix and gets taken out halfway through by a guy using an illegal modification to his car, comes back and wins.
That's another one of Mike's feel-good moments that, you went through this, you went through so much heartache, and it just... Yeah. I feel it.
Plus,
good call.
as a kid, that was my favorite movie.
Yeah, I know how much you loved Speed Racer, too. Almost as much as Spider-Man.
Okay, not quite that much.
All right, what do you got, Madu?
Okay, number 1, and I hate Ron Howard and Tom Hanks for making the movie because I cry every time. I've seen it 100 times. I knew what was going to happen when the movie was made. And every time when they're waiting for that capsule to come in from the silent zone, and all of a sudden, Houston, it's good to see you.
Yes.
Apollo 13.
As soon as he comes back on, because, the whole time you're like, these guys aren't going to make it.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
These guys aren't going to make it. And then when he says that,
Yeah, and like I said, every time I watch it, and this is the show that makes me upset the most, because no matter what I'm doing, flipping channels, watch whatever, if Apollo 13's on, no matter what point of the movie it's in, I will stop and I'll watch the rest of it. If it's 2 minutes in or 40 minutes in, I stop and watch the rest of it.
No, good call.
Apollo 13,
That
man.
actually came up on another podcast I was listening to.
Oh.
In one of their favorite Tom Hanks movies was Apollo 13.
Yeah, and just, because everybody's waiting for him, the whole earth. is just
Everybody's
waiting.
on pins and needles.
Yeah,
at that
and
point.
then. Yeah.
Well, and I almost kind of on a similar one was Armageddon. I almost had that one on there when he's giving his speech to his daughter over the transmission, and he tells her, "I'm going to have to break that promise to you." Oh, horrible. But all right, I'm ready to get it from you, Mikey. I'm ready for the abuse that's going to come. My number one was the Avengers Endgame, and if I had to pick, when are we outside that spoiler window? We can freely talk about it at this point.
Yeah.
When Black Widow died, that one choked me up quite a bit. At the end, at Tony Stark's funeral, sure. I was choking up a little bit when he died, and she's like, "We'll be okay. You can rest now." That one hit me. But pretty much the one that did it the worst is when everybody started coming back. Like when he's like, on your 6 or on your left, and they're all coming through those portals, and then you see Spider-Man come swinging in, and here comes Black Panther, and here comes... Absolutely. I had chills. I was just...
Can we not
just
bring
a wreck.
up the hug? Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Iron Man hug?
Yes. Oh. It was weird because I was dusted, and then Doctor Strange is like, "It's 5 years later. We got to go. They need our help." And, this is nice. Oh, loved it. Absolutely loved it. So, yeah, that's my number one. If I had to I can't just pick one of those, just the whole sequence.
See, and I don't have a problem with that per se. I just didn't like how they finished up some of the characters.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with the storyline. I mean, like I said, the comic books, they deviated a bunch. And I'm okay with that. It's Hollywood, whatever. I just had a problem with what they did with some of the characters at the end.
Like who in particular?
Captain America passing off his shield to someone else.
Well, that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah, to Bucky Brooks.
It's supposed to be to Bucky, but
they...
But I've also read a couple where it was the Falcon too. So.
But the Falcon was his own entity, and he had his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know why they did it. I'm not going to get into it, but I know why they did it.
Mike will not be political today.
It had to do with the dog earlier.
Yeah, there was just a couple things that just didn't gel with me too much. It's like when we've had this discussion 8 trillion times when they remade Battlestar Galactica and they put Starbuck as a girl. Pissed me off.
Right.
Grew up in the 70s. I watched Battlestar Galactica. Favorite show when it was on at the time. If they wanted to continue it and have like Starbuck's daughter, I would have watched it. I would have got into it. They say it's a great series. But as soon as I heard it was actually Starbuck, that was actually the girl, the woman, I'm not interested.
Well, and I hate that. That's another thing I hate is when they're taking creative liberties with the
original characters.
Well, with an integral part of the story. The new Pet Cemetery, for example. Okay?
Hated it.
Pisses me off. They just changed the whole
watched
thing.
it.
The little boy is the one that gets hit by the
Yes.
truck, not the daughter. And okay, if you change it to where the little boy's older and he's the one that sees Pascal and has the cat, okay, fine. And then the baby's a little girl. I can even get on board with that. But when they're the exact same goddamn characters and you kill off the other one, what the hell is fucking wrong with you people? That's not how it was in the story. How can you make this movie the same story and change that?
Watched the show with my son. We watched the original, and it was terrifying to him. Loved it. I'm like, let's watch the new one. The new one's got to be even scarier. That little boy,
No, that first one was scared the shit out of me.
And then I was like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I even wanted to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I couldn't even make it all the way through it.
Not a fan.
And to tell you how cold me and a couple of my friends are.
Oh, heartless bastard, here he comes.
We seen it at the movie theater, okay? And hurting children in movies is taboo. You don't do that.
Right.
When that diesel ran over that kid, the audience is like stunned because it didn't happen.
They're
And
like, holy shit.
And me and my buddies go, oh, goddamn, that's amazing. crazy.
Got him!
Because it kind of like broke a barrier. You didn't do that to kids.
You didn't see that.
So
at
when
that
they
point,
did that,
yeah.
we're like, oh, that's awesome, you know. And it wasn't awesome that a kid got killed, absolutely not. But just for what they did to break that barrier and
Yeah.
to go in a whole new direction, that was awesome to us. And we, you know, everybody in the theater thought we was the biggest dicks in the world.
You're like,
We're like, oh! Like in Lethal Weapon 2, when the chick's jumping on the diving board and they start killing the cops, and she jumps on the diving board and she flips and the bomb goes off and
Yeah,
she does all
yeah.
Yeah.
I was rolling. She did like 45 flips. That was amazing. And we're like, oh! And we're rolling and they're like looking at us like we're just killed someone's dog or something. Like we sacrificed it. I'm like, it's a movie. God,
yeah,
relax.
just get over it. Get over it. The little kid really didn't die. I'm not laughing at this real kid dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No, good list. Good list. Good episode, guys. Erika, we want to thank you for coming in here. We'll just I've been thinking about it, and we can almost call her the great American hero, right?
Aw.
God, that was terrible. That sounded so much better in my head.
All
I
right, that's a
apologize.
good one.
That was
We'll think of
horrible.
one. We'll get
Sometimes
one.
every nickname has a whiff.
There you go. That one missed hard.
I
It sounded
appreciate
good.
you guys
I was trying to
having
think of
me.
something with Erika in it that we could have made work, and that I failed.
No, you're good.
So
It takes a minute. It takes a
yeah,
minute.
it's not just something that you fall into. It's
I appreciate you guys having me so much.
oh no, we're glad to have you. Good luck next weekend with the tournament.
Yeah,
like I
absolutely.
said, if you need us, just say the word. We'll be there. You know how to get a hold of me. If you're again in the local area, get out, go support those guys. Check that out. Going to be a hell of a good time. Do you know how many teams you have coming in this year?
We're at a little over 30 right now. I'm closing off tomorrow night. I've had a few calls today. I want to give a quick shout out because we've never had sponsors really before where it's been, you know, people from businesses just come out and want to help us. This year, Jana Olson from Sherald's and Granny Jay's is
Nice.
going to help us a little bit. Also, Teresa at Grog's. And then I went and talked to Gopher Katipas, and he wants to help. So
Right on.
those
Big
people
shout
are
out to you
awesome.
guys. Thank you for doing that for.
And
Good
the wave pool and the helper pool threw in some passes, so
Nice.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have a little barbecue Friday night, a welcome barbecue, have all the teams come out. I got some really cool prizes that hopefully some of the coaches will win. I'm excited.
Awesome. Right on. Right on. Well, Mikey, thank you for letting us come and crash your basement again, and
No problem at all.
to hide and get in here and have a good time. Cameroni and cheese. Thank you for keep pushing me to get out here. We need to
Somebody
record.
has
When
to.
are we going to record? When are we going to record? And you know, life does happen. I never wanted this to get in the way of life, but we're glad. Well, there does come a time in everybody's life when, for whatever reason, somebody pisses you off and you want to tell them to eat a dick, but for whatever reason you can't. Let us do it for you. Obviously, I get if you don't want to say a name or two. You know, we can just still throw it out there. Who do you want to tell to eat a dick this week?
Disney.
Oh, wow!
They're fucking up Mulan.
Okay, all right, I'm on board with that. Dishonor on the cow. Yeah, apparently they're taking Mushu out of the live-action Mulan.
Okay, I've never seen Mulan. I don't know.
It was
I don't
Eddie
know
Murphy.
What a Mushu
It was the
is.
dragon that Eddie Murphy played. Best part of the whole movie.
Eddie Murphy was in Shrek. The dragon. He was a donkey.
He was
in
a
Shrek.
donkey. Yeah.
Okay.
A talking
He married
flying
a
donkey.
dragon.
He was the father of some
He
dragons.
got it on with the dragon.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. What about you, Mikey? Who do you want to tell to eat a dick?
It's been, like I said, about a month since we've been here, give or take. So about everybody. Just
If you're out there, eat a dick. You're
yeah.
all right.
If you pissed me off somewhere along the way, eat a dick.
Okay. Erika, who do you want to tell to eat a dick?
Well, I'm just gonna go in with what we said during our break.
That person out there, you can eat a dick.
That's funny.
Sounds like it
I
anyway.
think that might be our first confidential
sure.
eat a dick.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you
That's
know who you
right.
are. Eat a dick. And then for me, that nail can eat a dick.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Jack, oh god, that pissed me off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anybody else to eat a dick. Again, we do want to throw out a very happy 4th of July. If you're here in America, if you're not, happy Thursday to you. Everybody, by the time this comes out, it'll be over. This will be about Friday or Saturday when this comes out.
Try to come back with all your fingers.
Yeah,
tonight, man.
have a safe one. Cameron brought up an interesting point last night. He says, today is the last day that somebody on this earth will have all their fingers.
Yep.
Correct.
Because you know somebody's going to lose at least
Oh,
one
yeah.
tonight. Jason Pierre-Paul does say be careful with fireworks tonight.
He's gonna be a shop teacher.
The old lady in me wants to say, please don't light any off past 11.
Yes, if you're,
Yeah,
we
some of
know
us
you
got
don't
to
wanna-
get up early,
Yeah,
so
keep
I
your
agree.
dogs inside. But until then, thanks everybody for coming along. We're definitely not going to make it 3 weeks next time, I promise. So we'll be back with you maybe in a week, maybe in a couple weeks. We'll see. But until then, tell your wives, tell your grandma, tell your dog, tell your friends. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Peace.